You know what would be really stupid? Is if you would take a light and put it under a basket or a bushel. I wonder what's on, a light! Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for light to be under a bushel when stuff is going to grow because it's exposed to light. Welcome to Crossroads and welcome to the Grow Journey. I'm Brian, and before we get started, just what exactly is this journey thing? Well, let me start with the word grow. In the Bible, we see 7 practices that Jesus does, and when we unlock these proven practices in our own lives, we grow, we advance, we go to the next place, we feel closer to God. Each week of this series, we will be looking at a different one of the 7 proven practices and figuring out how to apply it to our individual lives. That's the grow part. The journey part means that we're going on a journey together. A bunch of people going step by step through a process of self-discovery and sharpening one another and sensing God moment by moment, week by week. As a church, we're all doing it, and we do it by meeting in groups and going through the guidebook, as well as having something to see online or in a building. We'll show you how to do that later in the episode. I'm glad you're watching, and I believe if you engage, you're gonna grow closer to God in the next 20 minutes. Now, let's get started.
Let's talk stories.
When I was 16, I was invited to a Young Life camp in Colorado. I heard the gospel for the first time in a language that I could understand.
My mom was an Ethiopian immigrant, and she raised me and my brother on her own. At first, sharing my story was really hard, but I had to work through some things to get to a place of healing, and now I feel like I can truly be myself and be vulnerable.
Everything changed when I realized the only thing I needed to do was just be God's daughter, and that was enough.
So God was there for me, and He walked me through that painful time.
I hope my story rekindles their faith and helps them place their faith in God.
God uses all of our stories to understand Him better.
There's power in your testimony.
I have a story worth sharing.
You have a story worth sharing.
In order for us to spiritually grow, one of the proven practices is sharing our story. Sharing our story is likened in the Bible to shedding light, sharing your light. There's a lot of light verses or light songs relative to Jesus, like, "This is the light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine." All kind of cheesy songs like that those of us who have extremely church backgrounds who are 50 years old can remember. The truth is, for all of the lush things to grow, there has to be light. That's why Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father who is in heaven." Light, shining, causing things to grow. You know what would be really stupid? Is if you would take a light and put it under a basket or a bushel. I wonder what's on, a light. Didn't see that one coming, wow. That's really stupid to put your light under a bushel. What could be under here? More lights. How unfortunate that these lights are wasted underneath a bushel. How about this? There's some lights. God bless America. God bless America. Miller Lights, wonderful. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for light to be under a bushel. When stuff is going to grow, it's got to grow because it's exposed to light. I recently got invited to speak at an event in Rock Valley, Iowa, place of true blue hardcore farmers. There's a few hundred guys that came out, a bunch of churches kind of rallied them in, put posters all over town. I mean, it was rural, good person America. There's something about pure about farmers. It just seemed like that to me. and just these lush fields all over the place. And the amazing thing was, the organizers of the event said this, that these farmers during harvest, they're working 18 hours a day. They never turn off their equipment because it is time to make money. Shutting off the machine means shutting off making money. They don't have any paid vacation or anything like that. They make money while they can. So they were saying for them to shut that machine off and come to an event to be challenged and grow spiritually was quite a statement about how serious they were about growth. You know, that's not too unlike our world today. Jesus one time says the harvest is plentiful. There are people out there that need to grow and be exposed to the light of Jesus. If you look at the social indicators in America, just about every single one is negative. Divorce going up, depression going up, anxiety going up, suicide going up. Things that are going down are things like happiness is going down, contentment's going down, personal savings is going down. It's really, really bad. Our world, don't be confused by how many green leafy things there are in our world. People are hurting and they desperately need the light. And if I have the light of Christ, if I've received Jesus, He's in my heart, and I hoard it, I keep it to myself as if I don't want to fumble Him, how am I serving and loving people around me? I'm not. In Matthew 10, verse 7, Jesus takes His disciples and He says, it's time for you to go out into the world. And He sends them off 2 by 2 into all the basic cities around there. And He says, basic stuff. I want you to go proclaim the kingdom, and I want you to heal the sick and cast out demons. No big deal, right? Go, ready, go. Break. Away they go. Heal the sick and cast out demons. You know, you might not have faith or knowledge in how to heal the sick with your prayers or cast out demons. But one thing, if you do have faith for it, I can help you with today is to give you the knowledge of how to share your story. Those folks went into towns and they weren't just doing those things. I'm confident they were sharing their story and what took place in their lives to help them do that right now. We're going to hear right now somebody tell their story.
I grew up in Over the Rhine when it was not OTR, but it was crime-ridden. And I had to learn that that environment and that neighborhood did not define me. Throughout my life, I've always felt that Jesus is my superhero. A lot of times growing up in the ghettos, like one of my neighborhoods were so bad that they closed the neighborhood down. And when I used to walk through that place, anything could happen. But when you feel that Jesus is behind you, literally with a cape on, protecting you, you're just not afraid when you're supposed to be afraid. My parents were not together. So I did not grow up in a home where mommy and daddy came home from work, every night and we sat around the dinner table. There was infidelity on one side and there was instability on another side. I didn't need to see a healthy relationship modeled to know what being in a healthy relationship should look like. But when I believe that I am here for a purpose, God made me for a purpose, I don't need to see how to act. I don't need to see things modeled in front of me because I'm here for a purpose and I have to live to that purpose. You don't fall for these traps that society has set for you. A few years ago, they were doing Come Pray For Me in front of the stage. And I always look for the old people when they're trying to lay hands on you. And my wife was like, oh, there's one. So she was, okay, fine, I'll go. And she put her hands on me and she goes, you feel like you're lost, like you're in the woods and there's so many different paths. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt. And she goes, God is saying, just trust Him. Trust Him. He wants you to trust Him. You know, like 50 to 100 people can see the same exact movie and walk away with completely different versions and things that stood out to them. Everybody has a story. Your story is going to hit some people in one way, and it's gonna make people feel that another person didn't feel from words that you said. If you can impact one person, that is all it takes. If there's a room full of 50 people that see your movie and only one person walks away with the message, that's all that matters.
This is not a complicated week. I don't know if you've noticed that. That story matters and your story matters. You have a story to share, and when you do, it's proven to lead to growth. Share your story.
That's exactly right. And you know what? We're in the journey, and maybe you're like, this is my first time. I don't know what we're talking about. That's totally okay. You can still hop in. It's not too late to get a guide. It's not too late.
Completely free guide, by the way.
Oh, it's free.
Free.
Zero money. It's not too late to find a group, to get into community, to connect with someone, to grow. You can do that at crossroads.net/journey. Let's hop back into the message.
Isn't that good stuff? That's great. You know, telling your story isn't something that I do while I'm being paid to do it because I'm a preacher, though I can and should tell my story then. It's a thing where I do all over the place. It's a thing I do when I'm playing basketball or when I play basketball. It's a thing I do when I'm in the gym and I have an appropriate opportunity to talk with somebody. It's a thing I did actually after I spoke at that event in Rock Valley. I went to the local little hotel. They had a little bar there. I went in to have a beer debrief, and as I was in there was a guy in there. I started talking with him. He was a cell phone tower repairman. I'm like, dude, you do that? How far up do you go? Are you lashed off? What's the safety protocol? Are you scared up there? Well, he said, well, what do you do? I said, well, I'm a pastor. As soon as I do that, that shuts down the conversation or opens it up, one way or the other. So we started talking about spirituality, and I could just sense that he wasn't wanting to go further, so I just stopped. I don't need to give him some formal plan of salvation with 4 Bible verses. If someone's not feeling it or I'm sensing that, I stop. But I was sharing a bit of my story. He might have been ready for the harvest, but he wasn't. You know, we're so afraid today of sharing our story. It's almost like there's a conspiracy in America that says proselytizing is awful. Religion is a private thing. Religion is not a private thing. It may be practiced privately sometimes, but your religion, at least if it's the religion of Jesus, is not meant to be a private thing. It's meant to be shared. It's meant to be proclaimed. It's meant to bless other people. In 1993, 89% of self-professed Christians said, I share my faith with other people. That's another way of saying evangelism, sharing your light. I share my faith with other people. In 2018, it was down to 64% of self-professed Christians said, I talk about my faith with people. That's a 25% drop. I don't know what it is today, but I'll bet you from 2016 to 2022, it is a massive, massive drop because we don't talk about it. I don't remember the last time I overheard somebody in a coffee shop talking about their faith to somebody who didn't have faith. I don't remember the last time. Maybe it's because we're not growing personally. Maybe it's because we don't have a heart to see somebody else grow personally. Maybe it's because we just don't know how to, or maybe we've seen it done awfully. Like, have you seen the video? I'm laughing, it's awful, it's awful. Just Google, try to find the video of the group of people who decide to pull out their guitar and do a little worship service inside of a plane. Like, the name above all name. I'm laughing. It was cringeworthy, it was awful. Let me tell you something. I'm a pastor. I'm pretty big on worship in the Bible. If you start bringing out a guitar and doing worship songs on the plane I'm in, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. I don't want that. Unless you're Jason Aldean. If you're Jason Aldean, bring it on out. I want to hear about your big green tractor all day, every day. It'd be awesome. But your music is meant to be on Spotify, not somebody in a thing on an airplane. But at least the heart was, they wanted to share their light. I think sometimes we don't share our story, we don't share our light because we're afraid of looking weird. You won't be. Just sharing your story, you won't be seen as weird. And if you think that person thinks you're weird, just stop. But also, we may not share our story because we don't know how to. Here's how I do it. 3 basic things. Number 1, I give the past. What was the past? What was my past like? And then 2, what is the point? What is the point that the light came into me and I started to grow? I received Christ. And number 3, what's my present like? What is it right now? So as an example, the past. Past was, I grew up as an adopted child. I always felt rejected. I felt abandoned. I always felt like I was on the outside of everything. That's the way I was. And then someone told me about Jesus in a language I could understand. I thought I was going away for a football event. I ended up going away to have an event where someone told me about Jesus and I received him. He came into my life. That was the point where things started to change. And now, where I am right now, and where I have been for the last decades is, I never feel rejected by him. I never feel on the outs by him. I sense his compassion and his presence in my life. He's enabled me to grow. Now, that story may change a little bit, accentuate some certain things, blow some certain things out if I want, but that's basic my story. I'm sticking to it, and I'm sharing it, and as a result, people are growing and coming to know him. Who are the people? Who are they that could be in the kingdom of God, who could grow, who could get harvest if you got into their life? Because you may be the only person who has the opportunity to share your story, and then you get to grow as well. And while I'm at it, I would be really remiss if I didn't recognize there's some people here today who this might be your point. Right now, you can receive Christ right now. This broadcast was meant as a light to come in and grow you and bring you to Christ right now. Seal the deal. Say this prayer kind of like this. God, I want you in my life. Jesus, I ask for your forgiveness. I give you my life, and I ask you, fill me with your Holy Spirit as I give you the rest of my life. Amen. Let's do this together. Let's grow.
There are 3 parts to the journey. Step 1, attend the weekend and receive weekly teaching at a site or online. Get inspired with the good news. Step 2, do your guide work. You get your very own printed guide. It'll help you create a plan of action to grow deeper. And step 3, meet with your group. During the journey, we meet in groups to talk about what we're learning, grow deeper together. Go here for more. Come grow.
I hope you enjoyed that explainer, learning how to do a journey. I got one more thing to throw at you, and it's crucial because it's on the 7 proven practice list. It is share your story. And you know what? We want to know your story. My story, Kyle's story, your story. The quickest way to do that is get on your phone. Now, some of us like to take videos like this, but I want you to take the video vertical, not horizontal, vertical. Don't,
I just want to give a special call out to my dad right now. Dad, this is a chance for you to grow. It's the grow journey.
That's right.
And just listen to what Shep's saying. She's giving you biblical truth right now. Just follow it.
That's right. This is how you, with your phone.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's great.
You got it.
Stories are important. See, stories help us just break through that barrier of disbelief. You know what I mean? Like as a teacher, do you ever feel this? Like I can say it all day long, I can make my points rhyme, I can do all this stuff, and there's still this that's nice that you're saying that, but does it actually play out?
Right.
That's where stories push us through it. In my life, it's the stories of people who decided to give that actually got me to give.
Amen.
It's like, oh, you actually do this?
Yeah.
Gave me the courage to give it a shot. If you want to give it a shot, just go to crossroads.net/give to support not just content like this, but community and world change all over the place.
All over the
place. Pretty cool.
Hey, we got some more journey for you, believe it or not, and you can find out what's happening right now, next week on Crossroads.
Well, hey, today we're talking about growth. Just like plants need water to grow, so it is that you and I need water to grow. Specifically, water that comes from baptism.